Hello and welcome back after the report, dear viewers. Now we're going to be talking about an important subject that really came into question with the lawyer Almas. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for having me.
Alhamdulillah. Today we're going to be talking about the no concealment law. We want to start simple. Can you explain it in a simple matter for our viewers?
Sure. So in simple terms, law number 78 of 2026 came in play to clean up the market from any concealment or any violation that happens within the licenses operating in Kuwait. So this law operates on businesses whom have licenses and rent them out to other parties to, operate their businesses illegally. So this law came in play with fines, with, bans and all those, issues that can happen within the economy or the market that they are trying to play with.
What is exactly was banned, to be specific? Yeah.
Okay, basically, if you have a license registered under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, you're the only person that can operate and manage this business, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
So some people use it in a way that they can rent out those licenses to third parties, and those third parties will operate the businesses without the knowing of the real owner, right?
The owner of the license.
Exactly. Yeah. So whatever incomes that that happens within the business, or whatever strategy that they operate within that business is illegal within the regulations of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry.
And on that part, so people who can't have licenses, for example, and who then go to rent them out to just operate any business of any sorts, that's banned now. So
that was illegal way back, but now they just the government has implemented law number 78
specifically for that.
Exactly, specifically for this concealment issue, and it's usually to regulate businesses in Kuwait and to give a fair shot for operating businesses here in Kuwait, and to make everyone
on the same level.
Exactly, on the same level, and they need certain documents which are eligible for them to operate these businesses here in Kuwait.
There has been a problem in Kuwait for many years now, the rental issue. Some people go rent out a place for a year and then rent it out for double the price for, let's say, for a week or maybe a month or so. Does this fall under the same umbrella of this law? Or?
The rental law is completely different than this law. This law is specifically there to, manage businesses and trading in Kuwait, for the government to have, feedback regarding the economy, regarding the incomes, or whatever that the outcome that comes from this certain business. So rental law is actually, you cannot have a license without renting an office, but that has nothing to do with the concealment law that just came out.
So what I mean is the rental inside of a rental. See, I think it's the same thing about concealment here.
You mean renting the license within the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are always sub-companies that you can... I think there's a second step to this law as a lawyer point of view, which is like for sub-companies or subsidiaries or even, a sister company. They should operate, I think that there will be a law that can operate subsidiaries or sub-companies which you sign with for them to finish the job for you. Usually that happens with like construction companies.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Exactly.
AC and
Exactly. Construction companies usually they give the contract to a small company or another company that can operate within this job. But that is not also in this law, because this law is only for al-tasattur, the concealment of illegal and violation of this law.
So let's say, what can be the penalties that people expect if, let's say, breaking this law?
Okay, so the penalties can go up to imprisonment and fines, and the judge is the only person that can, give the verdict in regarding this matter. It depends actually on the type of business they were operating. If it was something out of this license, or if it is something that was found to be, just rented license. So it depends on each person and each entity.
Okay, that's great, but I've heard also there's money involved, and I think they have a percentage or some way of measuring how much money you made, and the penalty will be...
Definitely. So there are penalties that goes from 10,000 KD to 100,000 KDs, and there are also penalties regarding whatever income. So the judge can see if the income is more than the penalty implemented within this law, which is from 10 to 100,000. Then the judge would actually give the verdict of the percentage of the outcome of this
What
business.
if it's more than that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that if the judge sees that you made more than the fine, then that would apply to you. You know, it depends on the judge also and the circumstances as well.
And what would happen, let's say, if somebody gets an inspection, for example, let's say, and tries to hide it underneath, hide documents, you know?
Yeah, so that is also a crime itself. So if you're misleading an inspector or hiding your documents from the inspector, that falls under a felony as well. So you cannot manipulate the government within these documents. So that is also gonna lead your company to a shutdown, to fines, you know, and you can get into other types of cases within the public prosecution in regards to that matter.
And I just remembered something. Last year, I think they implemented a law, المستفيد الفعلي, the actual beneficiary. How does it apply into this law?
Okay, so that law also is separate law. That law also has their own fines and penalties and imprisonment implemented regarding that. It states that the ownership, the person who is using the system with getting employees, with the banking system or etc. regarding this.
Who has access to all of
exactly, is the real actual person using that system. Because usually you find a lot of companies who, you know, hire people to operate these systems on behalf of that person. That is not wrong, but you need a power of authority to give that person to, you know,
a manager, maybe
exactly, to use someone that can be liable if anything happens.
And when we combine those together, like how would they operate? So let's say I have a business and I'm not the owner. The license is under, let's say, my friend's name or my wife's name, or etc. But I'm registered as the actual beneficiary in that. So how would that play?
You actually, in the system, you cannot be registered as the beneficiary if you are not on the license or not on the MOU. Yes, you should be, or the GM, the manager. You should be a part of this corporation to, you know,
be the actual beneficiary.
Exactly.
Because I thought I was like, okay, now there is this concealment law, and then back then there was the beneficiary. How do they actually operate together?
So I think your question is in like the right place, because I think the concealment is to, you know, to clean the market from any act that may, you know, shift the economy from this to that. So we had this issue where people have, because Kuwaitis have accesses to licenses, and it's like in minimal fees, so they would get their licenses, rent it out to foreigners. Those foreigners would operate on these licenses, and the Kuwaiti owner wouldn't know what's going on, exactly what's going on within the business. They're only taking a sum of fee, which is the rent fee annually or even monthly, and that's actually not fair for businesses running from their real ownerships.
Yeah, I mean, to be a business owner and to just rent out a license is wrong ethically before it becomes legally.
Definitely.
Now it's legalized and it's wrong legally also.
Definitely.
Who takes the blame now? Who takes the hit to, let's say, if they do this fine, if they get fined? Is the one who rented it out is going to get fined, or the business owner that rented the license is going to be the blame?
Okay, so there are certain circumstances. If the owner himself, if it's a one sole proprietorship company, then the owner himself is the general manager because he's a one-person company. So he would be liable, and the person who rented it out is also, you know, gonna face some, you know, penalties. And if it's a group company, then it's one and more person. Then the owner, the manager, also the manager appointed for this company is liable, because the manager himself needs to oversee and understand how this company is operating, who are the owners, what type of business is this license for. So it's also the manager, like you have the owner, the manager and the one who rented it out.
The license.
Yes.
So it's all a big apple.
Exactly. It doesn't stop with the owner only. Yes, the owner would face like severe penalties, but also the ones who allowed it would also face penalties.
I love this discussion, but we're going to continue after this report. Dear viewers, we're going to be taking this short report and we'll be right back continuing our discussion. Welcome back after the report, dear viewers. Now we're going to continue our talk with the counselor and digging deeper a little bit into this concealment law. So beyond jail, beyond penalties, what could go or what could happen to the business itself?
So definitely jail and imprisonment is not the only, you know, ceiling that we're going up for. The confiscation of all, you know, the illegal documents, confiscation of their assets, everything that has to do with that business, closure of the business. Sometimes they get a block, the owners would get a block from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry that they cannot or will not be able to, you know, get another license or even become a businessman in the future.
So it's a complete block then.
Definitely.
Other than the fines, other than the penalties.
And even the block of their, you know, the banking systems. So
of the company or for the personal
one? Of the company, no, nothing has to do with the person. It's all about the company, because this is what you've been using as, you know, a shield for you. You know what I mean? Like if you are giving me a license to operate and you have nothing to do with it, then you might face a blockage in the Ministry of Commerce, fines, imprisonment, confiscation of all assets in regards to that business.
Okay, what about someone who broke it once and then went ahead and did it again? So let's say, for example, what would happen for that person?
That's a hard shot, because so in the verdict it may state, or it's most likely will state that the person should, you know, abide by the law within 5 years. You know, you should always abide by the law, but I mean, if you get caught once and you repeat it within the 5 years, then the penalties are doubled. Like
so instead of 100,000,
you will be paying 200,000. You will be, you know, blocked for, let's say the first time you'll be blocked for 2 years, the next time you'll be blocked for maybe 10 years. You never know what the judge may, you know, put in this verdict.
And I want to talk a little bit about the small business owners. How does this affect them? Because most business owners, and I'm one of them, we have a small business. It's nothing big, nothing huge. And we maybe have a license, but not under our name. And as government workers, of course, we can't have a license our name. What could be another solution for us?
Look, it depends. Not all government workers are not eligible for licensing, correct? So there are certain government employees that the law doesn't allow them to operate on a side business. But I advise anyone who is a government employee and they would like to pursue a business, they should check with the Ministry of Commerce and put their, you know, ID number and check what licenses are they eligible for. You know what I mean? So don't operate in a business that you are not the owner of. And don't ever rent out a license from someone else. Whether it was renting it out with money or without money, it's all illegal under this law.
Yeah, I completely agree. And being a small business owner, especially when you're not seeing that much, let's say, of a payback in your business, and you may think, okay, with this concealment law, I can't have my license with someone else's name. So maybe we'd find that approach. Maybe we could find some small hidden gems in the Ministry of Commerce, of course.
Definitely, there are. There are some licenses that are open for some governmental employees, which are not open for the rest of the people. So you should always consult a lawyer, ask someone that can give you a feedback regarding this matter.
And going back to penalties and courthouse and all that, is there a way for any verdict to be solved before going to court, let's say?
Yes, definitely, there is a way. So this law also, you know, states that if a person is going to fix or solve the problem that they put their company in, and try to, you know, compensate or ask for forgiveness
and
within the law,
things right, yeah.
then exactly, then definitely they will not face this type of penalties.
Any court case or?
Definitely not. It's before going to the case. You can always, you know, speak to the authorities, the right authorities who are going to approach you, basically. So you're going to make it right and ask them to, you know, give you another chance, and hopefully they would.
Well, how, let's say, how does this law protect the market, or let's say the general public? How does it, or how can we see it after, let's say, a year? What's going to be like?
Number one is the growth of the economy. So basically, it's going to fix the economy. It's going to track the records of the incomes and the, you know, the profits of the
actual
companies.
ones.
Exactly, and you will see the economy boosting in Kuwait within the private sector market, right? Also, the other day there was a law that came out regarding the international transfers. This also has to do something with that, because usually whoever is operating the business illegally sends their money abroad, and they do not reinvest in the country itself. So they don't deserve to, you know, operate illegally in Kuwait. Everyone has a fair shot of doing business in Kuwait when this law is going to come in play. So small businesses are going to see boosts. You're going to see a lot of businesses who are doing it illegally shut down. So you're going to have a lot.
We've already seen them, actually.
Exactly. So you're going to have a shot in the market. So as a small business, I advise that you go with the law and do not break the law, and hopefully your business is going to expand and become like a chain.
Inshallah. And yeah, I've seen a move of good faith from the Ministry of Commerce, is that they gave all the businesses here in Kuwait a 6-month period to actually make things right and to correct their legal situation.
Yeah, definitely. So the government gave a grace period before implementing. So the law came in the Gazette, and they gave 6 months after the law to actually be operating here in Kuwait. So those 6 months, definitely, whoever is, you know, concealing something or renting out their business, they should like fix it.
You have some time now.
Exactly, you have some time.
And Councillor, to wrap up, do you have any legal advice for, let's say, the general public and us small business owners and anyone who's watching that?
Yeah, so my advice to, you know, small businesses, don't rent out your licenses. If you want to become a business person, then operate it yourself, understand the business that you are in, and whomever is renting it out, try to, you know, figure out the whole issue and try to, you know, fix your status within the market before the inspectors come and knock on your doors. And one more thing, the concealment is not to pressure businesses or not to pressure individuals here in Kuwait. Actually, it's going to give it, you know, a good go for youngsters like us running businesses, a good shot in the market. And inshallah, we see the economy booming, you know, within the next year.
Inshallah, inshallah. We always hope Kuwait becomes better and better every day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking this short report and we'll be right back.